Hello and welcome to the first installment of Crack's first ever news show. The only news show on Earth covering the same breaking story over and over again every single night. Humanity not doomed after all. Sorry for the mix-up. I'm Soren Bowie, and in the traditional, elegant, dead weight sense, I'll be your anchor. Welcome aboard. This is Topical Cure. Now, where most news broadcasts hinge on fear-mongering, hollow terror, and generally convincing everyone that we live in dangerous, unprecedented times, we are boldly willing to take the opposite stance and bravely say, nah. And what better place to start our show than at the very watering hole of doomsday hyperbole, the Republican National Convention. So that means I'm going to be focusing mostly kind of on this area tonight. And also kind of this one too, because apparently that's where the bad guy's base is. Now, we watched every single minute of the Republican National Convention feed so far because why would you? And what we discovered was, well, first of all, we found Waldo. And after that, there was, a squashed rebellion that teetered on all-out chaos, an army of extremists shouting to lock Hillary in a cage, an excruciating account of war from two soldiers, a bearded zealot in a bandana, a cow was slaughtered, and then finally Trump emerged from smoke and shadows to whisper about winning big against some ill-defined horror. Horror. A real cow! It's been very exciting. You know, now that I think about it, I might be confusing some of that with Apocalypse Now. Damn it, I get why newscasters rely on doomsday. It's so easy. But for those of you whose exposure to the RNC is limited exclusively to whatever's been trending on social media, you've probably only heard that First Lady pageant contestant Melania Trump plagiarized portions of the speech she gave on night one of the convention. Specifically, she stole sections that were about putting in hard work, keeping promises, and treating people with respect. According to who you talk to, Melania took these passages from either Michelle Obama's speech in 2008.
You work hard for what you want.
That your word is your bond.
That your word is your bond.
Or a My Little Pony character named Twilight Sparkle. Twilight Sparkle, speaking presumably about how awesome it was when she transformed from a regular unicorn into a Pegasus/unicorn hybrid and then became princess of the Castle of Friendship. It was a really powerful episode. So that means that after roughly, 900 hours of convention action that included a soap opera star calling the current president a Muslim, Chris Christie doing a modified rendition of The Crucible where everyone got to pretend like Hillary Clinton was a real live witch, and then Trump plagiarism scandal Jr., and hey, G. Smith was there too. Plagiarism still dominated social media and the news. And I mean, why wouldn't it? Attractive famous person does dumb thing is the media's second favorite genre of news, right after animal makes friends with other smaller animal. Plagiarism is also the kind of thing that specifically members of the media, they f***ing love to get all up in arms about, because plagiarism is widely important in the world of journalism, even if its impacts are rarely, if ever, felt by the average American citizen. It's also a moment that's easy to get your head around and laugh about, but it's pulling focus away from the more nuanced and less sexy moments from the week's convention, which, from gavel to gavel, was exclusively about generating fear. Political conventions are supposed to be pep rallies, meant to embrace unity, to show strength, and provide a safe space for white people over 50 to dance like no one is watching. But if the Republicans had just one message to convey, it would be that you, yes you, are not safe. Every single speaker on stage wanted to remind you that you are constantly in danger from terrorists.
The world outside of our borders is a dark place.
From illegal immigrants sneaking in through our borders.
Our enemies defy us. Our country has no borders.
And from the current administration and the candidate it endorses, who are literally murdering your children either through their incompetence or maybe on purpose. It's not totally clear.
I blame Hillary Clinton personally for the death of my son.
This did not happen by accident. It happened by design. It is the work of Barack Obama and the architect of his failed foreign policy, Hillary Clinton.
A vote for Hillary is putting all of our children's lives at risk.
It got a little out of hand.
They just come to save you.
The stated thesis of the first night was make America safe again. But the implied message was that Democrats want to open the back door to America for illegal immigrants and Islamic terrorists when no one is looking, like as a goof. The only things that came out of Monday resembling actual platforms were that immigrants shouldn't be allowed in, Muslims should be kicked out, and black people just need to cool off for a minute. Now, if Mexicans, Muslims, and African Americans are literally fighting over who gets your bedroom after they take turns murdering you, then yeah, these sound like pretty sensible positions. And it's easy to give in to the sensation that you're cornered, that America has never, ever been this unsafe. But that's only because objective fact never got a chance on the mic that night. So let's talk about crime first.
The sense of safety that many of us once took for granted has been shattered.
According to the FBI, violent crime in America is at a 40-year low, with violent crime dropping by 51% since 1991. Homicide, rape, battery, and child abuse have all been on a steady decline in America. Also, even with that tragedy in Benghazi, and it is a tragedy, the rate of people dying in armed conflicts is nearing historic lows. The Week actually describes us as unusually safe right now because the overall amount of warfare has fallen significantly in our lifetimes. Now that's hard to remember when all you're hearing is
radical jihadists are killing Americans.
As much as I hate to disagree with Republican reality show star 1 of 7 about radical Islam, fewer than 100 Americans have been killed by jihadist terrorists since 9/11 on American soil. More people were killed by cars in that time period. Oh, I'm sorry, did I say cars? I meant cows. On to immigration. When the RNC was in full trunk swing, there was a heart-wrenching parade of grief portion of the convention where the GOP went through the tragic deaths of 3 Americans at the hands of illegal immigrants. It was sad and created the sense that there might be a Mexican breaking into your mom's house right now. But the truth is that the total number of undocumented residents has fallen by over 1 million since 2008. And the number of Mexicans crossing the Mexican border has been in decline since 2000. Most illegal immigrants are people who came here legally and then just overstayed their visas. And if we're talking specifically about the rapists and murderers that Trump promised that Mexico was mailing to us, the Wall Street Journal reported that studies going back for more than a century say that immigrants, regardless of nationality or legal status, are actually less likely than the native population to commit violent crimes. And without exception, incarceration rates among young men are lowest for immigrants than anyone else. Now, I know it would be much more exciting if the world were ending and we could all just start picking out our cars for the Mad Max apocalypse. But the much less sexy truth is that our military is strong. There are fewer wars and the streets are safer today than ever before. The path we're on isn't Fury Road, it's goddamn Sesame Street. And I could rattle off some more stats about how well things are going, but it's easier to just let the RNC speakers from day 2 do it instead. The theme of day 2 was Make American Work Again Day. But according to the delegates on the floor, everything's good. Mission accomplished. Don't touch anything.
The great state of Indiana has a $2 billion surplus.
We're open for business and growing jobs and manufacturing and high tech.
And it was even sort of sweet to see all those states dance and then brag about their current prosperity.
Home of 10,000 lakes, home of Spam.
We got the best duck hunting on earth. We're #1 in rice production. We raise delicious catfish.
Mr. Chairman, I come from the land where we manufacture Pez.
All before lamenting that this whole country faces imminent Obamageddon, sometimes even in the same breath.
If you like the last 8 years, then Hillary will give you double for your trouble. But good things are happening in the states. Unemployment is the lowest in the recorded history of Arkansas.
Not that I'm blaming them. The idea that the last guy turned our country into a corroded urinal cake is political tradition. That's the point of these conventions. The danger is getting too specific about the threats because actual data rarely backs it up. And the worst part is, nobody ever tells us that. No news anchor wants to go on TV and report, it's just in, everything's fine today. Except this show, I guess. So, it's just in, everything's fine today. Look, my point is, I get it. It's way easier to appeal to voters when they are sorely upset about the opposition. Obama got to do that 8 years ago with his change campaign. But the truth is that things aren't so bad right now. We're doing okay. So, and this goes for both sides, stop talking about the last 8 years and tell us about the next 4. Nobody wins a job interview exclusively by shitting on the last guy. No matter how much of a up they were or how long he dated your sister. Yeah, I know it was a long time ago, Daryl. I don't care. You're dead to me. Anyway, this has been a thing. I think we're done. Hi, thank you for watching Topical Cure, our brand new news show. Make sure to tune in on Friday as well for another episode about the RNC. Bye.